Okay, she's fussing. What is good, my people, my peeps? What is good? So, I came to talk to you really quick. And I'm going to talk to you. Um, what's good, Sergio? What's good? Sergio is in the building. What's good? uh, Sending love from LA, Los Angeles. How you doing? I am popping on here, guys, and I might start just coming on doing these raw and hopefully informative um, live streams uh, regarding what's going on, because the time is at hand. I wanted to come to you guys yesterday and talk to you guys about what's going on regarding gang stalking and the our crisis, that our financial crisis that is taking hold of America and the world, right? And also, it's so much that I want to talk to you guys about. Um, it reminded me of, I see different people. Well, if you believe in the Most High, um, talking about, general things regarding the Most High, who He is, who you are as a people, as a nation. And it reminded me of when I was a young child, and it was revival. They used to have revivals, going to different towns and reviving the people, waking them up. Revival, right? That's what it meant back in the day. And they kept saying that Yahweh Shai was going to return, but it was called a revival. Now I still see that energy still, regardless if people are in the church or regardless if they're online. A lot of individuals have that revival spirit, that revival aspect of telling people about the Most High. We are not in revival time. Okay. Actually, if people are upset. They actually want to make a law against the woke uh, term, against the woke culture. And it's not even the woke culture. It is literally the end times. It is literally the end times. And so you chosen ones and you target individuals. That's what I'm going to come on here and talk about. Your gang stalking is a test. And I believe to my heart's heart that we're not just guinea pigs for America, for wherever you are located at. You are not just guinea pigs for them to test, for them to run these simulations on. You actually are peoples that are going to make a difference. I hear so many aspects of what is going on. And I'm going to talk to you about why I feel that this gang stalking program, if you will, is a test. Because what we have gone through, the world is seeing. And sometimes I find myself agitated because I have seen so many people come and go that have tried to spread the word about gang stalking, about target individuals, about a government program which would have the whole world enslaved. There has been countless documentation of slavery around the world with all people groups. But I can recall when I found out about my targeting, there was a pamphlet that I used to pass out, and it had John F. Kennedy, President John F. Kennedy, who was assassinated in Dallas, Texas. Prior to his assassination, he wanted to make the world aware of what was taking place. The Bay of Pigs. This is where you need to really pay attention. This is not just me spouting off history lessons or what took place in history. This is telling you what is have taken place and what is to take place. John F. Kennedy tried to warn the world about the Bay of Pigs, which was a war that was taking place. It was some CIA, ops going down. Along with that, John F. Kennedy wanted to warn the world about the mass enslavement of the entire world. Shortly after being watched himself, although he was the president, he was assassinated, eliminated, taken out. And that is one aspect that I truly hope that you, as targeted individuals, as chosen ones, understand that that is one of many aspects of this targeting, this test. And there was another man that came to try to tell you that you would be going through a great test and trials. And that was Yahweh Shai, no matter if you believe it or not. And he said that you would have to go through what he had to go through. And he was also taken out. I want you to prepare yourself for these times to come. For these times that are upon us will be treacherous. Before I go into the treacherous times that are soon to befall everyone, because whether you believe it or not, at this point in time, everyone is a slave. You have been a slave since your conception, and you have made your government billions of dollars. By you possessing a social security card or any identification card, but mainly your social security card is a identification card to your banking account. Because you have been walking as the straw man, and you have not been walking as the being that the Most High created, the soul that the Most High created. You have been walking as the straw man. The collapse of the American dollar, along with the dollars and the rubies and the euro and all other aspects of currency, will collapse as well. I have to tell you that if you don't watch any type of news, not to really be informed, but to see and compare who is telling you what and from what countries. If you did not know, France, the UK, Nigeria, Venezuela, South Korea, and many more. This is just 5 that I have named. But there is at least 9 countries that are protesting at this very moment. And Paris, France, is one of the main ones that you may be able to Google, or most likely check out TikTok. because that is one of the search engines that is providing information that is in real time. They have been protesting and burning down and storming Capitol buildings due to the fact that they want to raise their Social Security retirement age to 73 years of age. If you don't understand by now what I am telling you, and if it's not clicking at you, no matter what your race or creed or sexuality is, you are a slave. And I am going to transition into talking points regarding the title of this program that is being broadcast to you right now. Gang stalking is a test, first and foremost, for my targeted individuals. And the mark of the beast is upon us. Are you ready? I listed 5 out of 9 countries that are rioting at this very moment regarding their retirement age. Your retirement age is when you're able to stop working and to be able to enjoy some aspect of the life you may have left to live. But at this point, in certain countries, they have raised the retirement age to 73 years of age, which lessens the quality of life for many individuals, and especially for my blue collared workers, for they have strained their bodies in the field to 73. For you Americans in the United States of America, while you sit blindly, and I mean blindly, by as they switch your money to digital currency, they will soon say you will not get paid any retirement or social security. Now, some of you who deem that you feel that you do not require or do not want any of your money from Social Security because you are an entrepreneur, self-employed, independently gaining monies. And so you feel that you have put your monies away in safe assets, particularly the assets that are really hot, if you will, for lack of words, with younger Americans and peoples across the land and nations, which is Bitcoin, which is cryptocurrency. You have diversified your funds for my individuals who feel that they have set themselves up to be okay without receiving Social Security. And so they may feel that they are in a different classism. My friends, the mark of the beast is upon us because you see, you are not in a different class. There will only be the rich and the poor. And when I say rich, that is minimum. I mean the very rich, the billionaire, trillionaire class, and the poor. I'm telling you, hello, Tanya, that the mark of the beast is truly upon us. I say the mark of the beast is upon us because I saw another broadcast just the other day. And so I'm going to bring you millennials and Gen X into the fold who may possess the cryptocurrency and the blockchain and maybe several bank accounts. We often have heard of the Illuminati and Hollywood and the so-called celebrities signing their name in blood to be able to receive the gifts and the perks of so-called Hollywood. Well, I want you to know that they want you to fall in the same trick bag as your celebrities have. But that was a choice that your celebrities were able to make. I want you to sit back and ask yourself if you've ever had a bank account or if you've ever had an app like the app that you're currently watching me on. Have you ever, from top to bottom, read the fine print, every agreement aspect of every application that you are currently using? And I can bet my bottom dollar. Hello, you guys. We are in, we were born in a B system. You're very correct. You're very correct. But I'm talking about the mark of the beast. The beast system, yes, has always been here. You were born in sin and shaped in iniquity. You were told that from the very beginning. But it is time that is coming for you to make a choice. That is the mark of the beast. For the mark 666 is the sign of a man, not just the Antichrist who is coming, who is the spirit of the Antichrist who is coming, who is here. 666 carbon, the mark of a man. To be born into the beast system does not necessarily require that you have had the mark of the beast. But you see, back to what I was saying regarding any applications that you use. Have you ever read them from top to bottom in their entirety for you to understand what you are coming into agreements with? And I wanted to say, I bet my bottom dollar that you have not. You just wanted to hop online. And the same being with any banking facility. Hold on, y'all. I have the window down. It's getting kind of chilly. Hold on.
And any if you've had a bank account, if you currently have a bank account, the doomsday clock, as they say in their coded language, and trust me, I scour the internet looking for the breadcrumbs that they drop, because not only am I a child of the Most High, but I am here to blow the horn, okay? Nancy Pelosi sold off all of her stocks at a loss. Her husband is well known for understanding the market and trading. which we know that this is called inside trading. They know something is about to hit before it hits. We know of all of the multiple banks that actually have gone under and are steady to continue to go under. I said doomsday has started before they even restarted the clock last week. I mentioned the banking. If you have a bank account, and if you have never read every single aspect of your agreement to a bank account, this is the time to do so. For you see, you will start to receive new agreements, contracts. And I know you all who buy cryptocurrency and who buy Bitcoin think that you're out of the loop because that is an independent aspect of buying currency. Well, see, you have been also fooled. Because as we know it right now, there are 12 centralized banking services in the United States. And if you don't understand what that means, there will only be 12 banks available to the citizens of the United States, well, to the citizens of the corporation of the United Corporation. 12. That means that your cryptocurrency, your Bitcoin, will no longer be a freedom that you have to buy openly. Your crypto and your Bitcoin also will be corralled into one of these centralized banking services. This is also part of the REX, what is it called? The REX 84 plan. I can't give you a full history lesson right now to tell you how John F. Kennedy, the Bay of Pigs, and his assassination, the REX 84 plan, all of this, and the cherry on top, the Bible has brought this into fruition. Roadmaps that have been in your face. Hold on for a minute.
Roadmaps that have been in your face the whole time. But we are too busy consuming and being consumers and worrying about the next man's wealth. Trying to be like the Joneses, or be the Joneses, or keep up with the Joneses. No one, and I mean no one, can escape with the net that they have thrown out. For you see, they have been weaving their net for almost decades upon decades upon decades. Oh, what a web you weave when you practice to deceive. This is not the time to be concerned about who has a what in their bank accounts. For you see, I mentioned reading every updated document if you have a current bank account. The information that I found out is that Bank of America has become, if you will, the new Hollywood. But you see, Hollywood was just the selling of your soul. But quiet as it's kept, most people would not have or will not tell you. Those people in Hollywood, Hollyweird, whether they have sold their souls or their souls have been scalped and placed into other vessels, that soul, the Most High God knows who that soul belongs to because he was the potter who made the clay. Although those individuals in Hollyweird may have sold their souls or been soul scalped, they still have the opportunity to repent, whether you like it or not, whether you hate celebrities or not. But we are at the pinnacle. We are at the point of no return. And the reason I say they have the opportunity to repent and be delivered from any entities that may coincide, cohabit them, unless they have been turned over to a reprobate mind, they have the opportunity to repent, be free. But we are at a pinnacle time in our lives where I tell you the banks are going to be doing some trickery. And I do see that you're commenting, and I will read your comments. The banks are going to be doing ultimate, the ultimate hustle. But this hustle, this hustle is about your eternal soul. For you see, there was a client that was a Bank of American client who got an update saying that they would be changing. And this is allegedly. And I want to make sure it's Bank of America, but I'm pretty sure it was Bank of America. Got an email saying that they would be updating their banking services and changing over to digital. And I want you to understand, once they go to digital, that drops even the value of any dollars that you have in the bank. But that's not really my point. It is the wording that they said in their contract, which was basically, and this is to shorten it down, being that I don't have that contract in front of me. They are the new Hollywood, but they have a lock and a key on your everlasting soul, your everlasting eternity. For you see, that's what they're saying in that documentation. that you are selling your soul. Not only your soul, your image forever. Basically, what these banks are saying, well, what that particular bank said, and what in my thought process, all banks, the 12 that I mentioned, that will only be in the United Corporations of America, the only 12 banks will have you make a choice. This is truly the movie of the Hunger Games. They will have you make a choice. Either you have your money within our banking system, and like the contract stating in Bank of America's contract, you give all rights away of who you are as a soul. If you don't understand what that means, every move you make, huh, every step you take, they are watching you. This is not just for targeted individuals, but this will be for the world. For you see, once you put your money into one of these 12 banking services, you will have to have a way to pay for any items that you want, that you're required to live with. Meaning you have to have something other than a debit card to access these monies that are in one of the 12 banks, that will be in one of the 12 centralized banks in this corporation of the United States. You will have some way. I know that in Revelations, it talks about the mark of the beast taking the mark in their hand or in their forehead. I often wondered why some people would get tattoos on their face and why that would be promoted. You know, nothing against tattoos because I have tattoos. I no longer get them and I no longer suggest anyone get them. But that was promoted heavily. You see a lot of youth with tattoos all over their faces. We have speculated what the mark of the beast would be, how it would look. Would it be the C19? Would have been the C19? Was that the mark? By you willingly going and participating in another test that the ops put together for the world to participate in. That was a test. Your next test, oh, and this is a great one. For you see, they have turned you into consumers, loving every aspect of materialistic items. They have had you work thinking that you were a part or had the opportunity to be a part of the American dream. And all along, we were all in a deep slumber. And a lot of us, as targeted individuals and chosen ones, we started waking up from our sleep earlier, probably than predicted. You can't be asleep right now. And this is going to be hard for all of us. For you see, we have become creatures of comfort. I have heard on many platforms that this is an era that we're in for a huge transfer of wealth. And it is true. And I may have said that so myself. But sitting back, realizing and seeing the signs of the times, this is their last hurrah. This is the Alamo, their last fort, their last front to hold down and to keep you, all of you who may not sit back and truly consider what is getting ready to befall the world. For you see, spoiled children, they have temper tantrums sometimes when their toys are taken and they can't cope. And some people may not want to let the world see them in a different light. Because you see, it's truly going to be the haves and the have nots. But it'll only be that for a short period of time. But if you don't have in your mind's eye to know, in your mind, in your heart to know, that joy is truly going to come in the morning and you will have to endure the harshest and the roughest of times if you choose to make a decision not to take the mark. Maybe a tattoo, something cool for the youngsters they may promote, something in your forehead. Not just a regular tattoo. The ink may be laced with nanobots that's once injected into your skin, may penetrate throughout your whole body. And if you've already taken a certain kind of potion when that sickness hit in 2019, well, that may expedite those said nanobots to take full control. And you have truly been marked. Are in your hand as well. Maybe those, it may be a tattoo. It just may be some type of, you know, everything seems to be smaller. So I don't even want to say some sort of a chip because it may be smaller than that. But when I say that contract read as if you took 5 steps more than what you were allotted to take, you will not have access to your own funds. If you cannot realize that at this particular time, that there has been slavery here, and the peoples that have had gone through the longest term of slavery are truly going to be liberated if they have or choose to serve the Most High God and keep His commandments and statutes in His days, not holidays, but His days. Liberation is coming. But there is still time for us here to tarry. It's not that I tell you not to continue to work and take care of your family, because we all must. But they gave us a false aspect of freedom. And I can tell you from being on this planet, the length of time that I've been on the planet, the ones that you think that may work in a corporate job, sit in a cushy office, are going to be the ones who have the hardest time making a decision. For most of them may have lost a substantial amount of money already. Let the world see you as who you truly are. Because the Most High God sees you for who you truly are, right? This touches me more than you can ever imagine, because I truly did not think that I would live to see everything unfold right in front of my eyes that I have been taught and understood. I did not think that I would live to see the beginning of it, or if I will live to see the glory of His, well, the great and terrible day. Because it truly will be a great day, but truly a terrible day of His return. You have a choice that you must start to think about while you have the time to think. I implore you, if you have a banking account at this present time and they send you any information regarding any updates to your banking regarding digital currency, if you choose to keep said bank account, read it. I mean, read every single word of it. And I tell you to read every single word of it, but I know in my heart's heart that once that happens, and if you choose to take that route, you will have made a dire decision. These 12 banks are already zoned. Please do your own research, investigation, if you will. Don't just go off of the words that are coming out of my mouth. Like I have told you guys, when I come to you and bring you these broadcasts, I hope that they are informational for you. To help you understand regarding these banks that are the 12 regions, the 12 zones. I mean, I can go down the list, a checklist of what we've told you about these certain stores that are closing, certain camps that will be set up, certain zones, Hunger Games. Put it together for yourself. Banking. How many banks do you have in your town right now? 5, 6, even in the smallest town, 2, or at the least 1. In a city the size of New York, Houston, Atlanta, how many banks are in one city alone? Not just the city, but suburbs. 20, probably 30 at least. You are down to 12. If you do not believe me, your Social Security card is actually the bank where they have your money because they have been selling you and trading you on the stock market since the day of your birth. On the back of your Social Security card are numbers. If you choose to research this information, turn your Social Security card on the back. When you look at the back of your Social Security card, you will find several digits. The digits that you find on the back of your Social Security card is the bank in which your money will be going to if you choose to go forward. with this so-called collapse. The back of your Social Security card has the region where your bank is currently located. Those are the 12 banks that will now be the 12 centralized banks that will take over the banking services going forth. Meaning, you've always had money. But we never knew about the straw man. We didn't know about the Black's Laws Dictionary. For you see, we were asleep. But it definitely said, like I tell you, the Bible is a roadmap of history, was given to you other than how it should have been given to you. Said that knowledge would increase in the end times. Black folks, aka Black folks, Israel, Israel, otherwise known as Black folks, otherwise known as African American. Let me say this: if you are a non-believer, I'm not trying to have you to believe in any religion. I'm just trying to have you have the knowledge that was left behind for you. Think over your life from today and any time back. Has anyone ever given you as much knowledge as you see on any of these social media platforms? Every time I look up, there is one of us showing you the game, or any individual telling you how everything runs, how easy it is to start a business step by step, how to balance your money, how to grow your money, how to take advantage of what you have as far as money managing skills. Hell, even NBA and basketball players really never knew how to manage their money. Knowledge has increased and it's all over the place for you to be able to take heed. But what will you feel is most important now that all of this knowledge is being released at rapid pace? For example, I thought by understanding the straw man and what the United States at the time that I thought that we were actually living under these constitutions were actually a hoax. I thought studying that may be giving me a leg up. But then I had to realize they are past that. Most of the time, when so much knowledge and information is given out so readily, so freely, the people who give this knowledge and this information, they give it because they're on to the next one, the next level of their growth. And they're giving you what they've worked with for centuries. They're on to their next agenda. So I just wanted to forewarn you. The mark of the beast is upon us. And I know the decision is going to be hard for a lot of individuals when it comes down to that decision of, do I keep the monies that I have worked? You see, you never had that money. It was an illusion, just like they're showing you how much of an illusion it has been. Do I keep that money? Because a lot of you got a lot of money, a lot of do re mi. Do I keep it and sign these new bank agreements and have my money go into a centralized banking, one of these centralized banks that is only 12 of them that will be in the United States operable for you to use? Only 12. You must understand, if you choose that route, you're choosing a lot. Yes, you will have your money, but they have become more than Hollywood. They have gathered more than souls that can repent. They have truly marked you. This is my opinion. And this is the opinion I have gathered from the studies and research. You won't have to worry if you're in one of their smart cities. That's just one concept of their control. That's just one. A lot of channels, like I said in the beginning of this broadcast, may talk about, you know, the Bible, but they're talking about it in a revival, telling the people who Yahweh Shai is. You know, stories, parables, a revival. And we're past the revival, like I told you. We're even past the woke, you know, phase. We are in the decision phase. That that's what we're in. Because the signs that are in your heavens that you may not be able to see tonight because they have chemtrailed the sky so vast and so wide. But even before tonight, the signs that are in the lands across the world are signs of his return. I would not even make my mouth to utter any words of a date of his return. All I tell you is of the signs that he told us that he would give us and to watch for. I tell you, some of these people and their platforms have not said, before he would return, every person that possessed the soul would have known about him. So that's why if you were a child and you are an adult now and you have always heard that he, Yahweh Shai, and God, not God, Yah, not God. I don't want to say God because that is just a title. Yah, I am, the beginning and the end, the truth, Alpha and Omega. He's coming back. That is part of the great and terrible day of the Lord. And that is still a title of Yah. These persons are preparing you to almost, I feel, inherit this so-called wealth transfer that is truly going to take place. But it's the wealth, they're only trying to get wealthier. That is the wealth transfer. They're not telling you that in the Bible it said every person, every soul on this planet will have already heard about the book, the stories in the book, the parables. And once that happens, that will be the mark, the start of his return. And I tell you, that's why I say this is not revival time. This is decision time because the signs are in the heavens and his return is upon us. So that means every soul, even souls that are being birthed, well, I won't go that far just yet. I've done videos on this channel and I've had to take them down due to music or whatever, I put on those videos. I said this is decision making time because for chosen ones and targeted individuals going through a test, I must tell you this. If you may have heard it or you may not have heard about what I'm going to tell you. But I just want to prepare you. For I do not know who the 144,000 would be. But you see, with the return of Yahweh Shai and the Most High, there also will be saints that have lost their lives here on this planet. before his return. There will have been some of you chosen ones and some of you targeted individuals that will truly be in the Garden of Gethsemane, that will truly be having a heavy moment, if you will, just like Yahushua, knowing that he would have to die because there was a greater purpose for his life. I want you to understand that he had a heavy heart when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane because he knew that he was going to have to fulfill a mission that he was sent down here for. Whether you want to believe it or not, some of you have actually been sent down here for a mission similar to Yahushua. And some of you will be heavy, will have a heavy heart as well, because you will give up your life just like Yahushua did for your salvation. You will give up your life because you will be returning as the saints in this battle that you cannot wrap your head around, that is happening now, that's been going on for a while. President Obama, when he was in office, ordered up, I want to say, 100, I want to say, hold on, let me see if this chick gonna get out the car. I want to say the number was, yeah. He ordered up, oh, it's a guy. I called him a girl. 100 and, I don't know, 40 something thousand guillotines. President Obama did this in a bill. We don't read all the bills. You don't know all the laws. Half the time, they don't even tell you in any of uh, some of the statutes that they put in a bill that's going to become a law. Some of you chosen ones and some of you targeted individuals. This is a test. This is definitely a test, a great and mighty test. See, the enemy is going to, well, he's going to be fooled. Just like he was fooled when he thought by taking whatever he could take from Yahushua, whatever he can do to humiliate Yahushua, by taking Yahushua's life. You see, the enemy, the spirit of Satan, thought that he had eliminated his greatest opponents by taking his life. But how foolish a spirit who came from the heavens could even think that to be. But he fell for the okey doke. And Yahushua, even heavy hearted, and in the Garden of Gethsemane, even prayed to the Most High to take this cup from him, to take the burden away. You know what that tells me? Even at the moment of knowing he was going to die, he didn't quite want to do it. No, but he knew he had to do it. And the enemy thought he won. Just like the enemy thinks that everything that he is doing to you target individuals, to you chosen ones, he thinks he's winning. He thinks he's winning. And that's what I want you to get to in your head. He wants you to think that you are losing and he is winning. In actuality, you are winning. Just like the Most High won. For when they put him on the cross and he bowed his head from the last thrust, he said, "It is finished." His soul was released, and I need you to understand that you are a soul, that you are an individual that possesses a soul that can never be killed. And you return back to the one who created you. President Obama ordered 100 and I don't know, 40, 50,000 guillotines. In Revelations, it states that there are going to be people, saints, there are going to be some of you who are going to lose your life. You're going to be beheaded. I must tell you that because I have not heard people forewarning you as chosen, you as targeted individuals. This is not revival time. This is not the woke time. This is decision making time. You need to get into your head, your mind, what decision you will make. Because I truly feel, as a targeted individual, you've been watched because I've said you possess something very special. And by me knowing that Revelations said that there are going to be the people who serve and follow the Most High. And whether you be a targeted individual who truly don't believe yet, and you may start to believe, like I said, this is not a religion. This is truly life and life everlasting. I believe that's the test that's going to ramp up. So, whether it be choosing one, well, the banks have already been chosen for you. Like I said, check your social security number on the back, and you can research what bank has already been um, in the centralized banks that have already been chosen. But you're going to have to make that decision. You're going to have to make that choice, whether you put your money in one of those centralized banks, which I feel will truly be the mark. Because that truly, once again, like the Bible says, without that mark, you will not be able to buy or sell. That means to me, that is the mark. Because without a bank that we have been so accustomed to having access to our monies to be so called safely put away, without that false security and without your consent, you see, those banks have already been established, but now they're going to need your consent. Once again, there was a huge test that the world went through. You know, when they do tests on phones or tests for new apps, you know what they call that? They call it a beta test. But see, that beta test to see who would comply had to be massive. It had to be great. They had to see who would comply with the first massive ever seen on this planet before. I'm not talking about centralized or small tests that they have done throughout the world. They did a mass beta test on society. And now I say we're at the pinnacle of the greatest decision you will ever make. For eternity will be this decision. For without making this decision, you will not be able to buy or sell. Sit with yourself and your thoughts. Because just like it is hard for anyone who has ever been addicted to any substances, whether it be drugs, cigarettes, alcohol, coffee, guilty, sugar, cutting that addiction is hard. Well, there was another addiction that you didn't even know that you possibly were addicted to, and that was being a consumer. And now you have to make a decision. So I say, think about it wisely. These are just my thoughts, and we are in those times. So before I get out of here, I just want to reiterate, if you choose to make a decision not to be a part of any centralized banking, you will have to learn how to barter. You have to learn how to know the skills and the assets that you can barter, trade with one another to survive. You look around any city, state, and town, there's billions of homeless people, and there will be more. I say that to say this. that is going to be the people who have chosen not to take the mark. Some of those people who now and after everything has been established, those who have gone into the centralized banking services that are established, the 12 banking services that have been established, and those that did not choose to go into those banking services that have been established. You're going to see the rounding up because some of those people are going to be targeted individuals, chosen ones who are truly special. Because I tell you not to just give you any comic book reels for which they took those powers and put it in comic books, but truly warriors. But the separation will be final once they have truly established everyone who will be in these 12 centralized banking services and who are not. And those who are not, the ones that they deem to be the have nots. For there are already laws pre- um, preventing and, preventing people from feeding the homeless. Within those homeless, they will try to round them up. And these are just my thoughts. And start to use those 150 plus thousand guillotines on. And trust me, do your homework. See if the United Corporations of America owns guillotines and why would they own guillotines and why would President Obama order guillotines in the 20th century, now the 23rd, and why they still have them. Not only will they use those guillotines for those have nots because they do not know if you're going to activate, when you're going to activate, if you choose not to be centralized in one of those banking services, but who also truly serves the Most High God. For you see, they're already banning people from praying in buildings, facilities, quiet as it's kept from your mainstream news. They're already banning Bibles, and that already started in China. Well, guess what? It's coming to a town near you. If you think censorship on any of these platforms is, well, how do you say, out of control, well, get ready for book burnings and Bible burnings once again. The Great Inquisition, if you know, you know, will be again. So that's why I compare your test to Yahushua's test, his walk. His walk didn't end peacefully, although he could have called legions upon legions of fighting angels, and it would have been over then. But he did not. He went through the test. He went through the simulation. There's been so much information, like I said, that has been disseminated throughout the world. And I want to end on this note regarding Yahushua going through this simulation, for it is a simulation, a test. And we know energy cannot be destroyed but transferred. This is the time this is the moment that you need to be elevating seriously with how you eat, how you live, eating less. The time of the gluttonous, the mukbangs, the time of the consumer is over, for it has ruined this planet. People talk about this is the end of, that we're in a loop. And this world has been destroyed several times before, which is true. But you only hear of one, the flood of Noah, but it was the flood of Gilgamesh, and that predates Noah. I tell you that Satan is a copycat, and he knows that energy cannot be destroyed. Your soul cannot be destroyed. And once you understand whatever you go through, this is temporary. Your fleshly body is temporary. What is most important is the soul that you have in you. That is why they make fun on cartoons about skin suits. They know that they want to live forever. That's why they have drank certain cocktails made with bodily fluids, mainly the bodily fluid that keeps you alive. That is why Elon Musk is making a device for your consciousness to be stored in, for you to actually be able to be have your consciousness stored and transferred from body, well, from sleeve to sleeve, they call them. For they know that they want to live forever, and they know the great promise that is coming. They have been working so diligently, so hard to find ways to shift their consciousness into their own world, into their own reality. From your metaverses to everything else dealing with your consciousness, your soul. For they have been, and this is, I know, so hard for many of you to believe that there's truly nothing new under the sun. The information that has been hidden is because people have been regenerated. In my culture, we say, oh, that's an old soul when we see a child doing certain things. They've been here before. This is information that is awesome coming out with pictures of these so-called celebrities looking like time travelers, but still in a certain position in life. For most pictures in the 1800s were normally not taken of the general public unless it was for, a documentary. So you'll see these pictures of celebrities that look like they came from the past. You'll hear people talk about, oh, when you die and it goes dark, don't go into the light because that is the moon and you're going to be regenerated. And you're going to have to come back onto this planet again and do it all over again. Your lesson. I want to tell you that part I cannot concur. I cannot say fully that that is how it happens. But I do know that your soul goes back to the Most High, and souls have come back here. For you see, it even tells you that in the Bible that the men who slayed Yahweh Shai, who plunged the sword into his side, for they will be on the earth and will see him again. Not that they rose again, but they walked. They will see him again. Our understanding, our teaching, how we were taught that Bible was truly different, I believe, of how it was supposed to be handed down to the people who it was supposed to be handed down to. For souls have been here and souls come back. And if you think that I'm just bumping my gums, I gave you an example of that. Because there are going to be saints that will be beheaded, for it is mentioned in Revelations, who have lost their lives here, and those souls will come back. For Yahushua lost his life, but he will come back, regenerated into a perfect body. So it's not far-fetched to even think that they do come back. But this is the kicker. You see, Satan and his imps, the devil and the demons, the evil spirits that are here, for they are energy, frequencies. And they also don't die, for they are still here, right? That's why you have your CERNs trying to bring in more of these negative entities, frequencies. The cycle, whether you have heard it to be the moon recycling souls, but the cycle for this dimension will not happen again, for them to be recycled to the next dimension that we will be transferring to, which will be this earth made new. But it'll be a new, higher dimension of this earth that they won't be able to make it to. But those souls, those negative, demonic entities must be somewhere. The consciousness must be somewhere. That is why they're desperate to make places for their consciousness to reside so that they can live forever and take the slaves that have put their monies into these centralized banks. And so therefore they can possess their working class slaves for eternity. This is their thoughts. And they can stay comfortable in the dimension where they reside. Well, if you ask any African American, so called African American, what was it like here? We can tell you hell, pure T hell. So hell for them will have to be ever going, everlasting, with great torment. And they want to trick you into being into and staying in that same hell with them. For the great jealousy is you. They don't even care if you had everything or if you had nothing at all. They are simply jealous of you and the opportunity that you have to live forever because you already have it in you. But there is going to be a great and final shift. We will not be shifting and being recycled back into hardship and a dimension lower than what we already are in. For once you pass this test, once you pass this dimension, you truly will have powers. You truly will have constructive what's the word, indestructible body, or this world will be higher, a higher dimension. There will be no recycling. But I say you have to get through several steps to get to that level. And I think I've been talking for a long time, and I don't want to tell you the next level after Yahweh Shai returns, but there is another step after the millennia reign. But you got to get through certain levels, just like you game players, right? You know about levels. It's the same thing. I don't know. I just wanted to put that our thoughts into your dome. Have you think about it? Because yeah, we are truly at that time, and it's not going to be a cakewalk. These next levels. So I'm going to go through these. If I don't read them all, I'm just going to plop them up here because some guys probably came in, dropped these, and left. Um, okay. Bioelectronic analysis systems tracking, work insecurity. These MFs was telling me chopped already got fired after that. Oh, don't worry about getting fired. Let me tell you something. So many people are going to get fired or lose their jobs or however you want to phrase it. Um, that's because they're going to have robots, people who actually resonate with their frequency in those positions. Um, I wouldn't even concern myself about that because I tell you, they want to be you. Thinking that they can say you're fired or that that's some type of power when it's not. Because actually, you are the creator, you are the producer, and you are the energy source for them. Oh, I went too far up, Tanya. I was born with an implant. Oh, you know what? I think I had talked about any implants, anything of that nature, any of their smart dust, any of their nanobots, any of that is going to be knocked offline due to these solar flares. That is why your your skies are staying so clouded. They're trying to prevent you receiving the energy from the solar flares, which are actually part of helping to cleanse this earth and the atmosphere. Um, Also, when was it? I think it was a couple of days ago. The northern lights, which are normally in Alaska, were were over the lower southern regions in America due to the solar storm. Um, and I post these things on my page. I mean, it's up to you. You can look at them or you can do your own research. But yeah, those solar lights, the aurora borealis is what they, I mean, not the solar lights, but the aurora borealis, which is located in Alaska, was in over the America states, lower southern regions. Yeah, it doesn't matter due to a solar storm. So that solar storm is before a flare. The flares are going off. So that was just the storm from a flare. So I tell you, imagine a flare just bursting through, a huge one. And that's what they don't want. In India, I want to say the right state. In India, it has been so hot that people are dying. Uh, yeah, and that's going to happen worldwide, and they know it. That's why a lot of them are trying to, dig these underground cities and make them plush for them to run into. But it tells you that in the Bible, that they will run into the mountains, try to hide themselves. That's what they're doing now. They've been doing that for, I mean, I don't know how long they've been making their underground cities. But that's going to become their tomb because, I mean, goodness, if you just seen how the earth is moving, how now there's floods, mud floods going on in Turkey, covering up houses like they're nothing, ripping mountains apart. How are you going to hide somewhere where the Most High God has made and He can rip apart? You know, uh, there is a shift coming, and it's a reversal in rulership. And I mean, but these are the birth pains that, and you know what, for men, that's hard to understand. For men, you may hear that's the birth pains, right? Before he comes back. All of these things that are going to come upon the earth from the hurricanes and the tornadoes. Mississippi just had a tornado. They talking about bringing Jim Crow back. No, you're not going to bring Jim Crow back. You're going to be part of Jim Crow if you don't get right. That's what the new Jim Crow. That's what you're going to be. And see, that's what you're not hearing on these, a lot of, I don't know if they're Christians or teachers or whoever teaching the word. They're not telling you to be, not just prepare for the devastation, but prepare because the Most High is on the way. Okay, and preparing you and telling you, slavery has all. I'm gonna say this: we are all slaves. Slavery has always been here. Everyone has been um, in slavery. Okay, but there has been a way that slavery has been handled, whether it was due to war and they took captives, whether it was due to um, I one time the Israelites were tricked by another peoples because they were scared of the Israelites, so they tricked them, and their penalty was to become their slaves because they tricked the Israelites. So slavery has been here. Everybody has been a slave on this planet, but there has been a group of people that went overboard with slavery. They went overboard with the punishment because that curse was basically a punishment for the children of the Most High. And the people that were enacting and the disciplinarians that had the power to punish the children of the Most High went too far with the Most High's children. And so there's going to be a reversal. The power is coming back to the original people that were on this planet. And people cannot, because of their indoctrination to the lies, they can't understand that at all. And they don't want to understand until they are going to be those people that say, oh my God, once it happens, once they see it, they're going to be the people that say, oh my God, we have inherited lies from our fathers. Those are going to be those people, the ones that are going to hang on to their bitterness, their superiority complex. Those people are going to be the ones that hang on to that until the end. And they're going to freak out with the solar flares that are happening, with the shifts that are happening, with the pole shifts. That's why you saw the aurora borealis out of Alaska and into the Americas. Never happened before. Not none of our lifetimes and our parents' lifetimes and their grandparents' lifetimes before them have seen that happen. That's happening in the end times. But you have people freaking out. You have people that know in some instinctive way that they are losing control over a people group. And in their internal mechanism, which is their body, their heart, and their soul, our spirit, if they have one, they know that a shift is coming, just like the animals that are flocking and acting erratic, because there's a new energy approaching. And that's factual. You know, I don't even know how I got on that tangent. Oh, I was saying, that with slavery, this is going to be hard for you guys to hear, but that's going to come back too. That's going to come back too, and I can talk about that on another broadcast if you'd like. If you'd like, because I don't want to keep no one in the dark or pacify them. If you're on my platform, and if you want to hear the truth as best as I can tell you, that's what you're going to get. The Gentiles will become slaves. The Gentiles that were were given the grace to have a rulership for a period of time will go into slavery, and they know that, especially the elites. They know that. Um, but that is a conversation for a different time that you don't hear, because everybody wants it to be kumbaya, but you need to know how to prepare your mind for what is to come. Is you will not have seen this before. They will try to do what they have done in the past when there was not a such thing as race, um, with the nations. It was always nations. You hear, if you are or if you are awakened, and if you have ever heard Esau and Jacob, that's been the whole kicker the whole time. Quiet as it's kept. Esau and Jacob, the white man and the black man. The white man and the black man came from one mother. But the thing is, it was two different nations in the same womb, but one mother, meaning that they were brothers. So there was never a thing about race. It was nations. But there was a lighter brother, which we would call white Caucasian, and there was a darker brother, okay, which the world knows as black African Americans, but they were brothers. But see, what the elites are going to do shortly is what they did in 1606, or before we knew about race, when white men were, hanging out, chilling along with black folks. And I'm just going to say these generalized words that we've been accustomed to hearing. What they're going to do, what they did then, is called the white man over from his brother. They knew what the elites that are getting ready to trick you, told him that he had some higher status, not as high as the elites, but a little higher than the his brother, the black man, but a little higher, and we're gonna call you white. This is researching. We're gonna call you white. You're white. You're one of us, but not quite. You don't have as much money. You got to stay down there, but you will put you over that one because he's lower than you. All of this knowledge is coming out. But there are going to be some that want to hold on because they've had it for so long. The fact of dominating another so called race when it's always been your brother, your sister, but they have been just different colors and of different nations, but they came from the same mother, a black woman. They're going to do the same thing. And they've been trying to, stoke the fires, which they want riots, race wars, to keep you thinking that they are in control when that is getting ready to shift. But it says, just like we hear the word karma and what goes around comes around, those ones that don't change their ways, the ones that don't realize, look, I'm serving the most high God, bump you, and even if I'm white, whatever, I'm serving the most high God. you know Even if I got to go do what I got to do to get into the kingdom, I'm doing that. I'm not. But it's still going to be a change. It's still going to be slavery of a nation that for many of years suppressed a particular nation known as black people. And that's just the facts. And it's the truth. And the truth hurts sometimes. And that's why you hardly hear platforms tell their followers. Because some of their followers are their brothers and sisters that are white. But if they're true followers of the Most High God and understand history in the whole of what they know as just worldly, I'm going to say history of the world, or the Bible. For you see, the Bible is history too of a people. But once they can put the history of the people that the book was originally made for with the history of what has transpired in the world, and then they can start to see the the devastation that rocked a whole nation of people. That when the Most High said that He was going to make us forget everything, our lands, our tongue, put us under a people that were not a people, that were supposed to even be suppressing a particular us as a particular nation, and that He was going to put into jealousy. He was going to make us jealous of a particular people. And truly, I believe that's why you have so much of this in the black community, black men against black women, and so jealous and not loving themselves that they'd rather love another nation of women and upheld another nation of women, but being deceived because that is part of the jealousy that the Most High put in their hearts, not truly knowing themselves. This is no slight to anyone. This is the truth. And some people don't want to tell the truth on their platform. Me, I can go up, I can go down. You can be here or you can go. But I'm telling you what is happening. And if you don't hear from me, eventually you'll hear it and you'll see it. Or if you're alive, you'll see when the heavens crack. And believe me, they're going to crack. Do you not realize that NASA has just, you hear people say, I don't believe the Bible. The Bible, I don't believe it. We went to the moon. There's no firmament above the heavens like the Most High God said in the Bible. Do you realize just a week ago, NASA said uh we never went to the moon. They admitted it. Do you realize NASA in their documents, it has to be revealed. This shift is here. The cosmic realignment. That's what's going on tonight. Yeah. A cosmic realignment is happening. If it's the 28th of what's the day? The 28th of March. NASA yes, and there is an firmament that we have never penetrated. They have been trying to get out of the firmament. They never went to the moon. And I will post that later on this evening. But people aren't, they it's almost, it reminds me of churches back in the day that, just said or preached to keep their congregation at ease and not ruffle the feathers of their congregation and not tell the truth of what's going on and what's happening and what's going to happen after everything is said and done. Oh, it's gonna look bad for a lot of people. You're gonna, a lot of people, there's always gonna be on this planet ego. People are going to have ego. That's why I said it's going to be hard. And this is a time to prepare yourself to understand that there is a decision that's going to have to be made. And you're going to probably have to battle with your ego. Do I want people to see me like this? Or do I want to maintain my status in the world? In this world that is passing away. See, and that's why I said men, when they hear in the Bible or they read in the Bible, before Yahushua comes, excuse me, before Yahushua comes, there will be birth pains. You see, men don't understand birth pains. They may have been in the birthing room with their wives or maybe their girlfriends, hearing her holler and scream. And I remember I was like, cut him out, but they don't understand the pain of giving birth. So that might not register fully in their minds. When Yahweh Shai said, it's going to be birth pains before I come. Oh, it's going to hurt. I'm about to shake up this world is about to shake up. I'm about to move this over here. I'm about to shake a couple of earthquakes that you've never seen before. I'm about to do some things on this planet that's going to hurt because I'm getting ready to come. Birth pains. And seeing, as a woman who has given birth, because every woman doesn't understand birth pains because every woman has not given birth. And I'm talking about not a cesarean birth, not where they cut your stomach and you deliver your baby. I'm talking about a birth pain that comes through the canal. Those birth pains without an epidermis, without an epidural. And I did not have an epidural. So I know the true nature of birth pains without drugs and a 9-pound baby and hollering and screaming the whole way through, like the earth is doing now. Mother Earth. Mm-hmm. Having birth pains. And the world is feeling it. And it's just going to get worse before it gets better. That's all I'm saying. So warn your people, tell everybody, go yell it on the mountaintops so people can start to get into their mind. This was real. And when they realize this was real, this is not a game. This is eternity. And this will be the last cycle of your soul, because your soul is going to not have to cycle into a world like this again. For there are infinite realities. There are infinite dimensions. So cycling up means getting renewed, not having to worry about, anything that deteriorated your body here, and the strength and the power, and to be able, not, you know, um, what was that? If you're a sci-fi type of person who likes Star Trek, anything like that, traveling into different dimensions, different out in outer space, they into the universe. Well, once you cycle up, meaning once this has passed away, you will be able to continue to go. And and it won't be just you'll be stuck in this realm and in a new world. You'll be able to go to different dimensions, like entities come in and out of our dimension. Now that they're lowering the veil, there won't be veils that you cannot penetrate in other dimensions higher than this dimension. You don't hear me though. Yep, they are going to centralize it. Rex 84. Yep, it's already centralized. There are already 12 banks waiting for you. There are already 12 banks um, that's going to have your digital currency. It's a decision that most people, I don't know. I don't know. It's just scary for me to even think about. Mm. Oh, really? If the people rebuild, they have a plan to kill everybody from the East Coast to the West Coast. Um, that was even talked about. There won't be no rebuilding. That's why their cup has overflowed. They only have but so much time left. They have time to enact their last little policies, but they're not going to last long. And that's what people need to get into their head. And I don't think that people understand um, or feel that they can live without certain creature comforts, if you will. I don't think people will feel that they can live that long in dire straits. And so I say, pray for strength. I say, other than wasting time. I mean, I'm not saying I don't have any time to relax and enjoy what we know as life. Um, but it is time to start thinking about physical skill sets that that you can have, that you possess. What other than anything that deals with digital that you may have enjoyed to do? What When I was in high school, they called it extra extra. You had your regular classes, extracurriculum. I guess, yeah, extracurriculum courses such as homemaking, home ec we called it, wood shop, photography, extracurricular activities. Um, I don't know if they have such courses, but these were skills that were taught to you so that you can survive in the world, right? In a world at that time when I grew up wasn't a digital world. It wasn't the world of information. I was still in the industrial world per se, coming out of the in going into the world of innovation and technology. So we had classes that showed you how to cook and sew and so forth and so on. So that's what I'm saying to you now is think about what is it that you can do. So even if, like I said, the tribulation is tribulation. If you're you may start with a group and they may not make it, and then you're on your own and you might be with a whole different group, because the Most High is going to um, take some people will go due to beheadings, due to the guillotines, and some will be navigated through the tribulations. So just because you start with one group does not mean that you will end up with the same group that you started, but be able to offer a skill, how to start a fire, be able to do something. So start studying it. And if you don't know how to do something, learn, be an asset. Be an asset to whatever group or the group that you're in, or be an asset to yourself. You know, I know this is a long live. I did not mean to be on here this long. Let me see. The celebrities sell the idea of false liberty. I don't know if the celebrities sold that idea of false liberty. I think when America was founded, it the false um, selling of liberty was then when they said, we had liberty. And it wasn't that we as people of color had liberty. That was basically the founding fathers that were our brothers, the same mother but different color brothers. Okay. uh, okay, talking about some tests. What is that? A white man tried to run over my kid's father's shoes in Walmart yesterday and didn't say excuse me. That could be out of pure rudeness. Because some people just rude. Don't mean they evil. They just rude. I don't know the whole context of that. If something happened prior to that, or if the white man knows your husband, or oh, let me see. Taking pictures of our cars so the brother/sisterhood can stalk and play games on the road. Yeah, that's a form of gang stalking. Um, at this point in time, I feel sorry for them. Um, can my light come on? No. I feel sorry for them, to tell you the truth. What you like is that? Because
It's
I mean, they think this is a game. Um, or they're evil, or they truly are soulless beings. So if they're soulless beings, I don't really care what happens to them, because they're animated by a demonic spirit. Truly, not that they've taken over a body, but they're producing bodies to put demonic spirits in so that they can have their own body. I know that sounds so sci-fi, but it's true. It's true. Um, it's just I know it's going to be a shock to the world, to the world. So they're not going to know what to do because they've been playing this game. They've been doing so much dirt, um, and they don't know their destiny and what lies, in front of them. And that's sad. That's sad. And it's sad that even if they took monies to do this to support themselves or their families as a quick, easy way out, it's even worse. It's even worse. And that's the lot that they chose to take. And so that they're going to have to deal with that. Uh, uh, I can't say that I know that to be a fact. Yeah. Yep. They do. They do that. They knew Hitler was a gang stalker, killed off all of the blacks before the Jews over bread. The bread was 5,000 interest rates, 5 racks for bread. Now, that sounds like code talk, to tell you the truth. Like you're talking to somebody besides me, but I'm going to address it anyway. Um, because it sounds like how the celebrities used pizza and hot dogs, and they were talking actually about human beings and children and sex trafficking. So that actually, I'm sorry, I just have to let you know, sounds like code talk. Uh, but from my knowledge of history, um, Hitler actually knew that the people he put in the gas chambers were not Jews. They may have been Jewish, who came from the Ukraine, out of the Caucasus Mountains, if I'm saying that right. He knew that they were those people. Those people who are, some are still in Ukraine, and some are over in Iran. Where did they take over? They supposedly took over the real Jews' land. Um, I can't think of the name now. They just slipped my mind just like that. Um, Over next to Palestine, Israel. Um, those people that are over there are not the real Jews. Um, he knew who he was killing. It was said that he knew that the Jews were black. Uh, I can tell you that much. I don't know if that last part, that he knew the Jews were black, for a fact, but it has been rumored for him to have said it. Now, one of the reasons why President Biden is sending money over to, and sent all that money over to Ukraine, because that is another one of their escape routes. You see, the elites actually know, like I said before, who the children of Israel are, which are your um, Judah, the black African American, so-called African American that were here. So you hear people complaining about why we didn't get any restitution. I mean, not restitution. What's it, restitution, or whatever? Any monies for our ancestors suffering from due to slavery. It said it in the Bible that we won't. Nobody can pay God His recompense because they've went too far. They've gone too far. And so you might hear them talk about reparations. There it goes. You may hear them talk about reparations, but mainly, for the most part, it's going to be just talk, bumping their gums. Okay. You may hear But one thing is for certain, two things are for sure, that they have dug their hideaways, going to try to run from the Most High, because they know they tried to escape out of here and they couldn't. They know that Biden sent all that money to the Ukraine to help Ukraine fight Russia war, because a lot of them are going to try to go back home. And that is another mention in the Bible. Once America falls, different nations are going to try to flee back to their original homelands. Okay. And Ukraine is where they originated from. Yeah, I heard about that movie, Gray State. Okay, Mr. Brooks was in the house. I don't think he's still here. Oh, what were you saying? No, no, no. The bread, uh, no, no, no. The bread, one low cost. Oh, okay. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Their money was basically worthless, like what's happening are going to start to transpire here with our money being basically worthless. I think it was Kenya's president that had said to his nation that they need to get rid of the American dollar, because in a few weeks it was going to be worthless, and they weren't going to be able to do anything in their land in Africa, Kenya, um, with it. And so, that was a lot. I'm glad whoever stayed on, and you guys, as long as you did. Like I said, I should come on and just start doing quick lives like that when I have information, instead of letting it store up and then I do these long-winded lives. They go way too long for you guys. But I appreciate you guys tuning into the broadcast. And I would appreciate you giving it a thumbs up or thumbs down. Either way, it gets it out there and people can hear and, make decisions, because this is decision making time in your life. And much, much love.